Hey, grab that right there. Are you ready? Is you ready?
Ready.
You say you ready. Whole squad ready.
Ready.
Is you ready? Are you ready?
Ready.
Is you ready? Whole squad ready. We came here to see Jet. What you got? No, not on my watch.
No way. Trust and believe. We talked about that energy at the beginning of the game. A key for today is playing with that edge.
Fields, he's hit Devontae Wyatt. Oh my goodness.
You know, a lot of people sleeping on us, and I think we came out there and we were very disruptive.
He's taken down. What a play by Keyshawn Nixon.
We coming down, we hitting, flying around, we get deflections, interceptions, turnovers. It's a whole different style of football than we played last year.
Intercepted. Quay Walker. He's going to the house for a pick six and an opening day dagger.
We've talked about it all offseason, just our style of play. You look around the league and the teams that are playing winning football, they fly around to the football, and I thought our guys were playing physical and they were flying all over the place.
If you haven't by now, just look at these defensive numbers from Sunday's victory. The Packers stifled the Bears and Justin Fields to the tune of a 78.2 passer rating. And they shut the door on third down all afternoon. But it was the defensive energy and attacking mentality that will put the rest of the league on notice. But as per usual, the victory celebration has ended, and it's on to the new task at hand. Next stop, Atlanta. And the Packer defense will have a big test against the speedy Falcons, who hung a whopping 130 rushing yards on the Panthers in Week 1. You have our attention.
The focus is on the Atlanta Falcons, a team that we haven't played in 4 years. There's a lot of new pieces there, so I'm sure there's a new excitement around that football team. It'll be a really tough task going against them.
Hey everybody, it's two guys with three things. And Mike, you're up.
Well, Larry, we don't hear Matt LaFleur spout statistics at the podium all that often, but he let everybody know that the coaching staff had Rashawn Gary for 7 quarterback pressures in his first game back from the ACL injury. That's a pretty good day's work. But the impressive thing is Rashawn Gary only played 12 snaps in the game, and 10 of those were pass rush snaps, and 7 of them he got pressure on the quarterback. The guy is going to be a problem when he gets back to playing a full football game.
Absolutely. And Mike, as I'm sure you've noticed from time to time, Matt LaFleur will refer to somebody's stud duck up front as a creature, one of these guys that nobody can block. That's what Matt LaFleur calls a creature. Well, the Atlanta Falcons have a creature in the back end named Jessie Bates, free agent acquisition. Played his first game for the Falcons last week, and he had 10 tackles, 2 interceptions, a forced fumble, and all those turnovers led to 17 Atlanta Falcon points. The Packers have a creature in the back end they have to account for named Jessie Bates III, and his number, ironically enough, is number 3. Keep an eye out for that dude. And Mike, what else you have?
Well, as much as Jessie Bates is certainly going to be a big factor in this game, I think a lot of this game between the Packers and Falcons is going to come down to the ground games. The Falcons, they have kind of a two-headed monster in the backfield led by that new first-round pick, Bijan Robinson. And they rushed for 130 yards last week. But here's the thing, Larry. They gave up 154 on the ground to the Carolina Panthers. And the Packers know they've got some work to do in the running game. They feel they can run the ball better than they did against the Bears. I think the ground game for both sides is going to be key on Sunday.
Thank you, Mike. And that's two guys with three things. See you next time.
With him in the offseason where some of you guys are saying, like, we told you so. We told you how good this guy was. Did you feel some of that?
I mean, we already knew it. You know what I'm saying? It just, you guys got to see it this time. Obviously, we believed in it from the jump. We got the offseason work in, so when you put the work in, you know, you're not surprised about stuff like that. So he did a great job. You know, it's gonna build from here. So
I talked to Christian Watson. He's trying to do everything he can. How much more of a bump and how much much to get him back for this game against the Falcons on Sunday?
Oh, that would be tremendous. You know, to have Christian back. You know, that speed on the outside. You know, just to older guy in the room. You know what I'm saying? That's been there before. That would be great to have him back this week.
Do you have nerves going into Sunday?
Not really. I kind of feel, you know, like I said before, like when I get the playbook down, I'm confident about everything I do. So it's not many nerves. I probably feel the nerves before kickoff, but after that, you know, you take the first hit, it's game time, it's go time. So.
What are you expecting out of that Falcons defense? And it gets loud in the Benz.
Oh, for sure. They had, you know, guys making plays. They made 3 turnovers last week, and you know, you just got to protect the ball, and you know, it's going to be a great game. So.
How'd the first pitch go? How would you rate your first pitch last night?
I threw a foul ball, but it got to the plate, so I'll take it.
Jaden, it looked like it might have been a no-looker that Jordan threw in
Oh,
your
yeah.
half, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, it was a no-looker. If you guys really look at it, you know, he looked off the backer and threw it right behind him. So that was a great look by him.
Has he done a lot of that in practice, or how much of that have we not
Yeah,
noticed?
he's done a little bit of it. He's got me with one. He kind of looked off and threw it to me. It was a good ball, and you know, I just kind of like missed it a little bit. So.
How tough are those when you don't know they're coming? What's like the key to being ready for when that happens?
You just already got to stay ready, so you don't have to get ready, really. So I'm seeing that he can do that, so you know I'm locking in on more of the passes that he throws.
Were you a Cubs fan or a White Sox fan?
I was more of a White Sox fan, but yeah.
Feel pretty comfortable on returns?
Oh yeah, I love returning. I've been returning ever since I started playing football, so yeah, that's what I think the dynamic part of my game is. You know, if I'm not producing as much as a receiver, then you know I'm gonna return something for you. So, yep, just adding value somewhere.
Can you talk about the confidence in that special team room, the way you guys are playing right now?
You gotta have confidence in defense. That's what we call it. So complementary football, special teams, offense and defense, it all comes together. So you got to take everything serious, and it's a huge impact on the game. Anders over there, 5 for 5, right?
This has been a thing before I've got into the NFL. Like I remember at some point being in college, I saw players all around from NFLPA or just players in this league speaking on why they recommend grass more than they do turf. And I mean, that's just that. So.
How about the way Love performed in Chicago? How much did that help him going into week 2 with all the eyes on him?
I thought Jordan played fantastic. He was poised the entire game, which is a huge trait I believe he has as a QB. So, I mean, I'm excited going into this week. Spent a lot of time preparing with them. As an offense, we all spend time with each other, so it'll be exciting.
How comfortable do you feel catching passes from him already?
I feel real comfortable. Just still wanting to see the things that he likes, what he wants. Depending on the coverage, how he wants me to run the route. I just want to make sure that I'm there for him every step of the way. So.
How are you feeling health-wise?
I'm feeling really good. Just going on to week 2, finishing up week 1. So.
Romeo, what kind of challenge does Jesse Bates present?
I mean, he's a great safety. That plays well in that defense. So it'll be fun going against him this week. But can't wait to see what happens.
Romeo, every day we see the same you. You're kind of even keel when you talk to the media.
Yeah.
We saw you really animated after your second touchdown the other day. How often do you get that animated with your teammates? Is it just in a game on a touchdown like that? Because we see the quiet Romeo that we see when we interview you every day.
That just happened. Not to get into too much detail, but, got animated. It happens. I'm not the only player that does it, but, just got to make sure that I'm presenting myself in the right way whenever I'm around. So.
How do we get you that fired up in here?
Anyway, man. it can happen. Anyway.
What do you consider the biggest way in which your game's improved this year from going up to rookie?
Just being an overall receiver, getting better in from catching the ball, running routes, knowing how to run routes, depending on the coverage, and most importantly, getting comfortable with the system, which is the biggest part.
Which way does this offense have to play to get out of Atlanta with a W?
Just keep playing our game. nothing too crazy. You know, still game planning, but eventually we're gonna get it figured out.
The comfort level with the system, just how much more comfortable are you out there on Sunday? How much more comfortable do you feel this past Sunday versus maybe last year when you were out there, just in terms of knowing what to do, that type of thing?
A lot more comfortable. Again, I feel like just being in the system, understanding the system that you're in, plays a real significant role in just knowing ball. So I'm confident in our offense. I'm confident in our team, organization. So.
Jordan, so when you reviewed the Chicago, what did you like best about how you played, and what's kind of your biggest focus in terms of what maybe you'd like to do better in the team?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for the offense as a whole, I think we played clean football. Not a lot of penalties, and we were able to put ourselves in good positions for third downs. And then, yeah, we were able to go out there and convert most of our third downs. There's a couple we left out there. A couple passes I had to Jay Reed that just missed inside a little bit, and DBs were able to make a play. But for the most part, I think we did a good job of third down and then red zone as well, going 3 for 3 in the red zone. So,
obviously, every team is going to want to get ahead. How much, and you did, how much easier was that to play Sunday from the lead?
Yeah, I think it's a lot easier. I think that's the position you want to be in as an offense. You know, helps the defense out, and now the other teams, you know, pressing, trying to make plays a little bit more, and they got to throw the ball a little bit more. So it's definitely a position we want to be in a lot.
Were you audibling often, and do you feel comfortable doing that yet?
In the game? I don't think we had any audibles. And we'll have like canned plays. And that'll be about it, but I don't think we had any audibles this weekend.
Jordan, you don't have Christian last week.
Mm-hmm.
You guys put up whatever, 30, whatever. Aaron Jones is now hurt. You guys just kind of embrace these challenges if you don't have these guys, and how does that test you?
Yeah, I mean, it's always a test. That's the NFL, you know, trying to stay healthy. And then obviously when guys get banged up and if they can't go, you know, it's always the next man up mentality. But, you know, that's why everybody gets reps in their practice, and they got to be on their P's and Q's and understand the game plan in and out. So if they get thrown in a situation where they got to play, they know what they're doing. So.
You mentioned health. What was your emotional reaction to Monday night, Aaron Rodgers' injury?
Yeah, it sucked. You know, I was excited to see him play, and it sucks for that to happen to him in the first series. And, you know, I feel for him. You know, I know he's going to bounce back, and he'll do his thing in recovery and come back stronger.
Have you reached out to him?
Yeah, I sent him a text, but, you know, I know he's probably going through a lot right now. Phone's probably blowing up, so.
You know his competitive spirit. Can you just imagine the emotions he's feeling? I know it's hypothetical, but the emotions he's feeling at this point.
Yeah, I mean, as anyone would, you know, having an injury like that, you know, it's tough. It's tough to hear from. He's probably, you know, obviously going through it with the injury. You know, it just sucks. You never want to see that happen, and I feel for him.
Were you watching it live? Did you get to the TV in time?
Yeah, no, I was watching it. Yeah, I was excited to watch those guys play.
Jordan, Rob asked the other day about the 14 black NFL quarterbacks that started on Sunday. My follow-up to that is, at any point during your career coming up, were you steered away from playing quarterback just because of the math, looking ahead in the future? Did anybody try to say, hey, play a different position?
No, I wasn't. I was probably steered away for other reasons when I was younger, you know, just trying to play other positions, but that was never a reason, and I was never going to let, you know, that be a reason for anybody trying to hold me back. So.
Do you think that there could be a kind of a snowball effect where not just quarterbacks, the numbers go up, but GMs, head coaches, there's only 3 head coaches in the NFL. Do you hope that kind of can snowball?
I mean, I think it's already up. You know, I think growing up, it was cool. Like I said, it was cool for me to be able to see some of the black quarterbacks that played because there wasn't a lot of them, and it was kind of motivation for me to be able to do that, pursue that as a position. And I hope that, you know, the 14 guys that are here right now, I hope it's motivation for younger generations. But I think, as you say, 14. I mean, it's almost half the starting quarterback. So I think it's already up.
Jordan, before maybe I'm just an idiot, but before Rob, possible. Before Rob asked that question, I didn't really think of you in any terms. I just thought of you as the Packers quarterback, and I didn't think of Justin Fields that way either. What part of your identity do you have that factored in, I guess?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think it's a part of my identity. I mean, it's a huge part. It's just kind of part of my story. And I guess for all the other guys, it's part of their story as well. But I mean, it's not something you're like thinking about on the daily. But when something comes up like that, it's just an awesome reminder, and it's cool that where the league's at right now. And then, like I said, it's awesome for younger generations to be able to see that and continue to pursue that for themselves.
Get it back to Aaron Rodgers. You know him pretty well. Do you see him recovering and going out there and playing again? I mean, a lot of people say that this might be it, but what are your thoughts that possibly he could have still a future in football?
Yeah, I mean, I can't speak for him, but I mean, I know him. He's a very competitive person. I have no doubt that he'll be back, and he'll kill it in recovery, and yeah, be back.
Looking at Atlanta, what sort of challenge does Jesse Bates present?
Say that again, sorry.
What sort of challenge does Jesse Bates present?
Yeah, no, Jesse is he's a really good safety for them. You know, he's a ball hawk. You've seen the numbers he had last week with 2 interceptions and a forced fumble. So, you know, he's a ball hawk. He's a really good player, and you know, he's a very instinctual player, and he plays on quarterback's eyes, and that's how he made his plays last week. So, definitely a guy we got to be looking out for, and just know where he's at all times.
Does he do anything pre-snap to sort of disguise what he's doing that maybe he does better than other safeties?
I think he's just a vet. He's been around. He's played a lot of ball, and I think he's a savvy guy. You know, he plays in the post and makes quick reads on quarterback's eyes and, you know, where they're playing, and he triggers very hard on passes, and he's a ball hawk. He has good ball skills, and he goes make plays on it. But I think he's just a vet. He's played a lot of games, and he knows what he's doing back there.
I mean, as you said, he'll read your eyes. What do you do to kind of counteract that and not let him read you without, you know, changing your entire game plan for one person?
Yeah, no, I think you just got to make quick decisions and not stare receivers down. And then you just got to know where he's at. You know that he's probably going to jump a lot of your passes, and just be aware of that.
You guys felt good, I know, coming out of the preseason, but having won a game, what was your feel of this locker room, even coming back now to Wednesday, having started off 1-0 as a football team?
Yeah, I think that's kind of the mindset we had going in this week, was that we were going to win that game. So I don't think anyone's like overexcited about it. You know, we went there and handled business, and that was what we plan on doing. So you know, now we're just focused on this week and doing the same thing.
Same mindset.
Yep.
Can you speak to the versatility that you guys have on offense? Because it looks like you put a lot on film in terms of just a variety of looks. You had a bunch of different receivers, tight ends cycling through. What does that do to stress the opposing defense?
Yeah, you know, that's a credit to Matt and Steno. You know, they come up with some great schemes every week to kind of just stress the defense out, make them play different defenses and give them different looks. And then, you know, we're trying to make everything look similar, whether it's run, pass, play action. So it just makes it harder on the defense. They got to look at more film. They got to study more looks and have a plan for it.
How much are you guys talking this week, Jordan, about just running the football better as an offense as a whole?
I mean, I think that's always a goal for us, is to run the ball well, because it sets up so many different things in play action, pass game. And I think it just helps out pass game in general when a defense got to be worried about the run. So it's something that we strive to be great at every week. Something we'll do this week.
If you see something in the opening drive that the defense is doing you didn't anticipate, and maybe you don't have a check for it, talk about then what happens at the end of that drive. Like, do you report that to Tom? Is there a minute to talk to Matt about it? How do you report that information as a quarterback so you get ready for the next drive?
Yeah, I mean, we'll all see it. The coaches, I mean, they do a great job. They see all the looks the defense is presenting, but that happens. You know, there's unscouted looks. Defenses have certain game plans week to week that you don't really know what's going to happen going into the week until you get out there maybe that first, second drive and see what their plan is. So that happens, and then you just got to go to the sideline and adjust, make some in-game adjustments. So that part of the game is always huge. Who can win the in-game adjustment battle and be ready for whatever they throw at you.
And during the week, they challenge you. They say, okay, what if they double team me in 7?
No, I think it's more of something that we go with the looks that we see on film, things that we know they've done in the past. We don't really try and guess, what their plan might be for the week. It's something that you just got to react on the fly and be ready for, because teams come out and do something totally different than what you've seen on film, so you just got to be ready for it.
Jordan, I was watching back on the TV copy. Did you know look one to Jaden? He says you did right before the half.
Yeah, I mean, it was a crossing concept. I'm reading across the board. I got through that progression. I felt kind of the safety drop off of him that was guarding him, and the backers started pushing. But yeah, I mean, I was looking right, and I kind of just felt that void open up. And it's something that I've worked in practice, so I felt comfortable doing. But yeah, it was a little bit of no look.
How much confidence does it take to be able to do that? Is that something you would have done as a rookie in that type of situation, or is that something you've grown into?
Mm-hmm.
What's it like to be able to pull that off in the game?
No, it's definitely something I've grown into. I definitely wouldn't have done that or felt comfortable doing that as a rookie. But it's something that we practice with Tom. We have drills that we practice that same situation. So we do it, a couple times a week. And those are the things that make you comfortable doing in the game. But my biggest thing is you're not going to do something in a game that you've never done in practice. So you definitely got to be comfortable doing it to be able to try it in the game. So, but it's something we practice and we work on.
Along those same lines, that first touchdown to Rome, you said he was actually your third read.
Mm-hmm.
Is that just about being patient? Like, kind of walk me through that play.
Yeah, and he's the third read, and it comes down to protection. You got to be able to. The O-line has to be able to protect long enough for you to get to that read, and that's exactly what they did. I had all day back there, and then obviously Rome. He killed the guy on a inside kind of back end line route. But it's one of those things that you got to have time. The O-line did a great job, gave me the time to go through the reads and find Rome right there.
Jordan, going back to Rob's brilliant questions from Sunday, he asked you how you slept.
Mm-hmm.
And you didn't look nervous at any point, obviously. But is there value, and what value is there to get through that first game as the starter, play as well as you did, and have it as a building?
Yeah, I think it's huge. I think it just builds confidence, and I kind of already had a lot of confidence having played a good amount of snaps so far. So, if you're going in there for the first time as a starting quarterback, you're going to have a little bit of nerves, which, I did. My first start in Kansas City, there was some nerves, and I definitely felt a little bit more comfortable having played a little bit more. So I think just the more I'm out there, the more I'm playing, the more reps I get, the more comfortable I feel, and feel better out there.
At the same time, you're not going to feel comfortable in the bad connotation of comfortable, like complacent.
Mm-hmm.
But do you take your success and say, okay, that's just the beginning? Like, how do you view what you were able to do in that first game moving forward? Because there's obviously more challenges.
Oh yeah, it's definitely just the building blocks. It's just start of the season. It's a long season. A lot of games we played. But no, I think when I say comfortable, I think just more of seeing the game a little bit faster, and almost feeling more like practice out there, where you're not flustered or things aren't happening a little too fast for you, but you can kind of slow down and just get back to playing how you play, but not getting complacent. You never try and get complacent out there.
So your nerves were definitely less on Sunday than in Kansas City. Like, you could feel that you weren't as nervous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
You used the phrase, I think, total domination at one point. When's the last time you could even say that about a quarterback? Like college? Preseason you weren't going to say that. In Kansas City you couldn't have said that. It's been a long time since you've been able to say your team played that way in a game that counts. How does that feel?
It feels good. But like I said before, that was the plan for us. In this locker room, there was a belief that we were going to go out there and handle business. And that's exactly what we did. I don't think anybody flinched or was nervous about what was going to happen, or had any other thoughts on that was going to be the outcome. We all were confident, knowing that we were going there, and if we do our job, we're going to handle business. So.
Were you surprised they didn't blitz you more?
They blitzed a couple of times, but I think that's what they do on defense. In the couple of years that this staff has been there, I think that's kind of what they have done in the past. So no, I wasn't surprised, but like I said, you never know what's going to happen. They might have a different flavor for that day of how they're going to attack us, and obviously week one, you never know what they're going to do. So, but no, I wasn't surprised.
More for Jordan, week one coming off that win, when you came off the field, there was a ton of Packer fans just waiting for you, and you were a little animated, like let's go and stuff like that. What was that moment like for you, knowing how long you had to wait in the wings to be the starting quarterback?
Yeah, it was awesome. It was cool. I think I've seen that every away game we have, there's usually like almost 50% of the Packer fans, it feels like, in the stadium. So, and you can hear it, you can feel it, and obviously just run off the field, seeing them all in the end zone right there was pretty cool, and then cheering super loud. So it was an awesome moment. But I think it's just awesome how many Packer fans we get to away games. That definitely makes a difference.
Playing on artificial turf is definitely, not my favorite thing to do.
Does that make any difference this week in playing, since you are going to be playing on turf, or is that not a concern of yours?
My main focus is just feeling, good enough myself. Regardless of what surface I'm playing on, But I mean, it's always, a factor. I mean, if I go out there and, it could feel worse, running around on the turf than it does on natural grass. And I mean, obviously that would, stop me from being able to go out there and play at 100%. So I mean, I'm sure it is a factor. It's not my main concern, but I'm sure it is a little.
Were you watching Monday night?
Yep.
What went through your head when you saw him go down?
I mean, it was just heartbreaking. I was talking to guys on the team like Samori, throughout the game, just how excited I am to kind of see what he does in that with that team and with that organization. Obviously, he's a great guy. I really love 12. Even though I only got to be around him for a year. I mean, he's a great football player. I love being able to learn from him, and I was excited to watch him play. So it's heartbreaking to see him go down without having really a shot.
Thanks, Christian.
Can you describe where you are and what's holding you back at this point to get back out there?
I'm just trying along. I'm coming up on 2 weeks. I mean, it's just it's a hamstring strain. So I mean, the body's got to take its natural course. No one's coming back from anything like that super quick. So I mean, I'm just going the natural course, and whenever I feel 100%, is when I'll be ready to go.
Quarterback goes down after 4 snaps. You guys have a good relationship. What's that like? What your feelings like when something like that happens on a Monday night game?
That's gut wrenching. I wasn't watching the game, but obviously, with how fast news travels these days, and was up on social media, I saw that, and you never want to see that, especially for somebody that you do have a close relationship with, that you have had a lot of time with. So that's terrible to see him. Wishing nothing but speedy recovery for him. Good mentor for me while I was here. Well, he was here obviously, and definitely made an impact on my first 3 years. Big impact. So definitely want him to get back up and running as soon as he can, and do his thing. But thoughts and prayers to him. You never want to see anybody go through that, let alone somebody you're close with.
A lot of guys in the NFL, and people are talking about the difference between turf and grass. What would you rather play on? And is there a difference for someone getting hurt like that on turf? What's it like for you?
I think there is a difference. I'm not, one way or another, but I do know, looking around the locker room and looking at some guys who have had, some injuries on turf. It definitely does look and seem like, a bit more so happens on turf. But once again, I luckily have not experienced anything going down there or on turf, so I can't really make a statement on that one way or another. But at the end of the day, we all just want everybody to be as safe as possible and prevent injuries as much as we can. So if that's the reason, if that's the way, then all for it.
What's the challenge of that defense you're facing this week?
The challenge of the defense, obviously, they got a lot of veteran players, a lot of guys who have played a lot of ball over there. Looking back around the very first couple of days of understanding their defense, but you got a couple guys who have been around the league a long time, know ball, and when you're going up against a team that plays aggressive, plays downhill. You just gotta make sure you're on top of your assignments and things like that. So I feel like really as we get going throughout the week, it's really about executing our jobs, no matter what position you are, just kind of honing in on the details, making sure we're where we need to be when we need to be there, and then just playing physical style of ball.
AJ, how more important are the 32 carries versus the 92 yards versus Chicago? You know what I'm saying? The number of carries, the number of times you're banging it in there, even though you didn't have any really explosive runs, but still those two.
Yeah, I mean, I think, in today's age, everybody looks at the stat line. The most important stat, first of all, is we won. We won, and we left 1-0. We started off the season the right way. There's a lot of things that go into setting up a lot of the explosive plays that we do, and sometimes that is running the ball. I think, I'll give credit where it's due. I'm not going to, sing their praises, but the Bears did do a good job of trying to, neutralize the run, and, it was tough sledding at times, but then you look in the flip side of that, we had a lot of play-action plays that opened up some huge gashes, and obviously 10 did his thing, delivering the ball where it needed to be. Receivers and tight ends showed up in a big way, so I think, and I'm kind of speaking on behalf of all the running backs, but, and you speak to 33, it's no different. I don't really think we care about the stats and the numbers. We care about winning those games. And so that's the most important stat. We did that, and now it's on to next week. I'm not looking back at last week trying to figure out, how many stats or how many yards we got and whatnot.
But you were happy for Jay Love. I mean, you guys
Oh,
were
yeah.
talking about how great he's been. You were trying to tell everybody who wanted to listen that this guy was going to step up in the big moments.
Tried
How
to tell
happy for
you.
you.
Tried to tell you, man. I'm fired up for him. It's just the beginning. I know he's a guy that's not satisfied with just being good or just being a one-week wonder. He was right in here that next Monday, looking back at the tape, and then after we were finished watching the tape, he was back on, studying for the Falcons. And so, I think he's once again, and it's going to sound like a broken record, but really stepping in that leadership role, taking the offensive that role, and just kind of demanding everybody kind of is right there with him and keep getting better every day. And so, fired up for him, obviously, and I'm excited for him to continue. And I'm gonna do my best to help him out back there.
It's kind of massive for him to kind of follow behind A-Rod and a future Hall of Famer. It's got to be that just be in that type of position.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I hate to. I have started to dislike the whole following in somebody's whole footsteps thing for him, just because he's his own guy, and obviously everybody. I don't think there's anybody in here who would ever discredit what A-Rod has done for this organization, or if you've had a chance to get to know him and things like that. But it's Jordan's time. I don't think he's trying to chase anybody else. I think he's just trying to be the best of him he can be. And so we're all there supporting him and fired up for his journey. His journey's starting. He started out week 1, QB1, got the dub. So it's just going to keep getting better from here.
Appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Hey, AJ, have you noticed number 3 for those guys, Jesse Bates?
Jesse Bates, yeah.
He's kind of an impactful dude.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's somebody you guys got to be aware of.
Absolutely. Once again, I think he's in year 6, if I'm not misspeaking, or something like that. So played a lot of ball, obviously. We did play him back when we played the Bengals, and I'm pretty sure he's the one who hit me. I might be misspeaking here, but I'm pretty sure he's the one who hit me as I was going in the end zone, right there at the goal line. He's a guy that is always around the ball some way, some way, somehow. You can tell he understands the game. He understands, how to read the quarterback. He triggers in the run game. So got to give respect where it's due. Like I said, they got a lot of talented players over there, and they got a lot of guys who have played a lot of ball. And so for us, we got a lot of talented guys too. We just got to go out there and execute. And you want that as a competitor. You want to go up against good versus good. You want to go up against guys who are going to make you better, make you play to the best of your ability. And so. All the credit, to him and how he's done throughout his career, but we got to go out there and do our job too.
Bring what you got. I'm going to the top. I'm going to the top. Are you ready? Is you ready? You say you ready. Whole squad ready. Is you ready? Are you ready?